What's up, friends? This is Manni and welcome to a maximum skill video with the question, does skill even matter in this game anymore? Or is it literally just what you're running with? Can I impact the game with my skills that I have obtained over the 7 years, 8 years of doing war robots? The timing, the intuition of knowing when somebody is gonna do what, and to counter it before it even happens. So we're gonna do this here in the video, and while I have shown you an interesting intro with the some jock, don't worry, some jock gameplay that does not necessarily require the highest amount of skill is not the core part of this video. The core part of this video will be more like the Eiffel Titan, with where I navigate a minefield of superior enemies and kind of come out relatively well of this. And also some other things, like running, for example, the Harpy. Although with regulators, still, it's an Harpy and it's not really the type of thing that you want to technically run in today's meta. I'm eyeballing him for the opportunity to maybe shoot him, but as soon as I began firing, I immediately got suppressed. So even between the rare moments of shooting that some jock, he even passively suppressed me, right? So we're going into our own some jock now, getting rid of this guy. Alrighty, let's see what else we can do. The map is filled with regulator builds and all kinds of things. Thankfully, the some jock is definitely the right answer to those. And that laser beam here from space would be really annoying if I didn't run something that could just shield itself from it. Alright, so far so good. Let's see if we can capture this beacon. My team is in desperate need of some extra beacons. Okay. These guys are fighting up there, right above my head. Okay. Not sure if I can do a lot of help here. We'll see. Yeah, I'm gonna get that Shenlu. Don't worry, guys. I'm gonna get him. Woo. Hold on. It's not a Shenlu. It's an ultimate blitz. Alright, forget it then, because I'm not gonna get the ultimate blitz with his near endless amount of shield energy. Actually, my turret got him. Okay. That thing really does not require a lot of skills. But as we're having a full some jock in front of us, and I was already a little damaged, did a lot, so trading me in for him was not too bad. And here comes the moment where here comes the moment, for some reason the first spawn didn't work, where I begin impacting the game pretty well with a, some would say, outdated Titan, although I think it's still a decent Titan for sure, but it's not gonna be as dominant as a Mauler right now is, or as Devourer, you know, with the right setup. But it is good. It is very mobile, and I'm gonna use the mobility as a in order to stay safe, okay? Because right now we have an ultimate Minos against us, and his reflector is gone now, so technically I should be able to do a lot of damage, but I have to go. And here I'm going with my first escape move, because I was definitely getting outperformed here by his weapons. He would do way more damage with those shotguns than I can do. But I'm still here, and that's the main part. And I can get even further away with this ability and shoot him from far away, where his weapons are no longer going to be as effective, you know? So I'm using my mobility and my superior range against him, which he would, if he was close, just completely destroy me, you know? And then I see that sniper over there. I think we can drop him. Hold on. There we go. Okay. And more damage being done from here. My team is meanwhile with me again, or I am with my team. I'm moving into their base, always using this dash to my fullest advantage to get the maximum distance from it. Yeah, trying to help my team stay alive here in this map. However, it's not gonna work for much longer because the enemy is now spawning a lot of their own Titans too. And here is the Mauler, and there's another Luchador. So I'm escaping to the other side of the map. I know there's a barrier that will block me. I do not fly into the ocean. There's an invisible barrier that blocks your fall. Important, however, is that you're not over the big engines here to the right, because if you fall into those, you're dead. Okay. And from here, I have an excellent position to outplay the enemy and not allow them to get close to me and do all what they could otherwise against me with their short-range brawling weapons, right? Unfortunately, the map ends here. My team has not been able to capture enough beacons. And I did not get into a situation where I could do it. If I had tried it, I would have just gotten destroyed. But again, we used the maximum level of skill and timing and ability for that Titan to our full advantage. So, and is it so? Did the skills matter here? I'm not sure, because yeah, I was able to do a little more than somebody else, perhaps with the same Titan, but there was no way to win the match. No way. Those maulers, those luchadors even, which is good. The fact that an old luchador is good is amazing. I like that. But those maulers typically are so dominant you just can't kill them quickly. We're in the beginning of the match. This is the start that you've seen sped up. So we're getting a lot of enemies dropped here. And I'm trying to focus the ones that are the most danger. Like, for example, a Dux robot, right? I have my battleship ready, so I'm gonna disable my invincibility, but I activated the stealth. So I have 3 seconds of stealth that I activate right in between of my invincibilities, completely maxed out the combination of effects I can have. Completely using that battleship in the perfect moment to get an extra 3 seconds of free firing at the enemy where they can't see me in stealth for a second, right? This is what it looks like if you really just add every tiny detail of possibilities to your mix, to the lineup of your abilities and your robot, right? So, in this case, there's just too much shield on that Dux. I guess I could have maybe stayed a little longer in my invincibility and just dropped him after his shield, perhaps. Maybe that would have worked. Here, also understanding and recognizing that I have to be on this beacon. We're already 1 beacon down compared to the enemy. We cannot lose this beacon here as well. Okay? So what I do, I tank the damage. Even if it means taking a lot of damage to the face, I will not give this guy the beacon. Right? So it was important, otherwise we would have been in a 4-to-1 beacon cap, this ratio, and that would have basically accelerated the map substantially. But now it's still a 4-to-1, so yeah, it doesn't matter. Enemy mauler on the field. So I can't fight that mauler. I can fly up, maybe do a little action before I die. I got locked. That Dux shield is just too strong. I'm not going to be able to get that destroyed. Alright, my Titan is soon going to be is ready. I just need to die now, because I can't spawn it right now without dying. And I drew the enemy Titan back into his base. Alright, so now we're back in the Eiffel, and I'm gonna do what I did before, trying to do the best I can to keep this thing alive, A, and to keep it doing its full damage to the enemy, B, okay? Making sure that this mass nat damage potential of this Titan is being used in the most effective way. Now the enemy is all in one location for some reason, which is actually pretty good for us, because that allowed my team to capture some beacons back. You know? So, let's go for the enemy down there. I can see enemies in stealth, by the way. I have that set up where I see things in stealth. There goes one Titan, completely deleted in a few seconds. I caught him right in the moment when he was not ready to take any damage. And when he was out in the open. So, we have something over there, but I am currently overheated. So, now it's time to figure out which Titan can I do damage to. Yeah. He's taking damage, so he was taking, that was like 900,000 damage against him. Very valuable damage, right? Figuring out which Titan you can actually hurt, because those maulers after their dash are basically invincible. So you have to know which one you can go for. So we're going again. The mauler is not invincible right now, so it is very valuable damage that I can do here. 1.5 million damage done to him so quickly. But we are again in a losing situation. We're not winning this fight. So, and he can hit me even though I'm behind this building. And again, using my mobility, getting out of there, attacking the Devourer Titan that is stressing my teammate on the right flank. Very valuable kill. Much more valuable than staying in my base and getting whooped by 4 approaching short-range brawling Titans, you know? So again, knowing when to beware. The mobility on that Eiffel is just that is what you need. This is what gives you your advantage. And again here, 700,000, 800,000 damage done. Extremely important damage. I'm getting hit by a Condor robot, but I know that I can actually hurt Condors if I just unload my clip on them. And I'm gonna make sure that my teammate is not gonna lose that beacon, right? Gonna make sure that he gets to stay there, protect the beacon, and I help him where I can. Unfortunately now, I am again overheated. But I'm with him. I'm helping him. And since I see things in stealth, I can do that very well. Again, 1 million damage done here. Insane hard carry with this Eiffel Titan. And I like this Eiffel. It is, but the thing is, if you get caught by a short-range Titan and your dash is not ready, you get destroyed in a in two seconds, right? You're not really tough with it. All right, there we go. I see him in stealth. No problem. That stealth detection is such a must-have at this point. I'm also on the ultimate Minos. I always think that maybe even there I should go with the stealth detection, but then you lose the tankiness on the ultimate Minos. Minos, you kind of need it. So yeah. All right, I have one more map for you. Well, we apply the best of our skills here. 14 million damage, 12 kills, 2 caps. In terms of capping, there's more to be done, of course. So, there is this Sumjock. Boom, you saw it? There was a Sumjock in the beginning. I remembered his name, and I just waited for the moment in my stealth crisis robot when he decides to drop his invincibility for a second. Because this is the short time in which you can damage a Sumjock. In any other time, when he's in battle, chances are you're never getting such a chance anymore. You need to catch him off guard and pop him in one hit. That was a Lynx robot with a force field ability that triggers as you deal damage to him. So, not firing all at once, fire your shots in sequence. Bam, 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 bam. And then you do the maximum damage you can possibly do against that Lynx robot. Okay? Much more valuable than just hitting the button and firing all 4 weapons at once, because then all 4 weapons basically won't do a thing. There he is again. Bam, 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 bam. All 4 damage shots, and so he took 90,000 damage. And now we have the noob laser on us, so I think I'm gonna be dead anyways, no matter what I do. So I may as well just go and fire one last shot before I die. Sumjock time. Alright, let's go in there. You know, of course, if you wanna really play max skill, max power, it doesn't hurt to have one robot in there that really represents the meta in your hangar lineup, you know? And in that case, it is definitely this Sumjock. And while it can get killed pretty quickly if you do one mistake, typically if you combine the phase shift and this normal shift of the robot, you can cycle them so hard that the enemy barely ever gets to shoot you back, while you come out with so much damage done to them. And again, you see also my battleship is ready, right? So I can trigger the battleship and then come out of my invincibility and still enjoy 3 seconds of stealth. Alright, so right now I'm not using it. We drop everything without it because the enemy is busy. Okay. Wow, dude. Okay, now battleship time. This would be a right time, come on. I'm not using it for some reason. Why am I not using the battleship? Okay, I think I can do it without, but it is risky. Now with the battleship coming in. Okay, 3 sec extra shield, 3 seconds of stealth. And being protected. Look how much I'm doing with this one meta robot. Unfortunately, in the end, there was 3 guys shooting me, and when you drop it, you die. But we're back in our Eiffel, and now we're carrying the match again with the Eiffel Titan. That luchador is really taking a number. Why the targeting system decided to switch targets to an out-of-range robot that while that is at the same distance or the same angle, it's very weird sometimes what the targeting system decides. I know I can counter that that Muromets. He goes in stealth, excuse me, and it doesn't matter. I just counter him hard with that stealth detection, which I knew I was going to do. So I basically rushed towards him. I provoked the use of his ability. He thought it's going to protect him, but it did not. And that's the problem for him. So I know that he just dashed, so I may as well shoot the Devourer in the meantime. The Devourer Titans are often in stealth, so if you have stealth detection and you can shoot him, chances are you're gonna do full damage to him because, well, he's not in stealth. He's in stealth, but not in his protection mode, you know? And he thinks he's protected by his stealth when he is not. Also, you see me always accelerating my weapon firepower before I even begin fighting. This is a very good strategy. Here, I also kept firing while the last stand of the enemy was ticking. You saw this. And you also saw that the damage ranked up to 700,000 while the guy had an invincible last stand. That's because you can, with alpha weapons that are maxed, bypass even last stands. If you know that, you can keep firing through last stands and deal more and more damage. Yep, so a lot of little things that you can do to improve your gameplay. Tell me what you think about these kind of videos, and does skill matter, or is it 90% just equipment nowadays? Let me know. Thanks for watching, catch you in the next video, and Manni signing off. Bye bye, my friends.